The story begins in the year 2149, a time when Earth has become a lifeless and destroyed place. The planet, once full of beauty and life, is now dry and broken because of the terrible damage caused by chemical warfare. Cities that were once busy and full of people now stand empty and silent, their tall buildings looking like broken bones from the past. After a huge disaster that happened 9 years ago and killed most of the human population, the world is no longer the same. Now, the story focuses on the few people who have survived and are trying to keep living in what remains. One of these survivors is Darwin, a young man who has spent his entire life inside an underground bunker. The outside world is still filled with poisonous air, so this hidden shelter is the only safe place he has ever known. Darwin's life is very quiet and repetitive. Every day feels the same. His only connection to the outside world or to other people is through the glowing light of his computer screens. He wakes up each morning and powers on his system, hoping that maybe, just maybe, he'll get a message from his mother. But he always sees the same painful message. She's still asleep. Even though he never gets a reply, Darwin still types messages to his mother, trying to talk to her through the computer. His words are sent out into empty space, never returning with an answer. These moments of silence are sometimes interrupted by memories from his past, vivid, emotional flashbacks of when the world was full of color, laughter, and love. But those memories hurt. They remind him of what he's lost. "Hi Mom, please call me back," Darwin types. Darwin occasionally forces himself to take an ultrasound shower, which is a touchless and cold process, offering little comfort. But most of the time, he returns to his chair and stares at his screen. He is stuck in a loop, trapped in hope and loneliness. Even though Darwin lives in isolation, he still does important work. As with any great disaster comes opportunity. Using advanced technology, he remotely controls machines on the surface to collect valuable minerals. These resources are essential to help build more advanced shelters for any future survivors. The only sound in the background is a repeating news broadcast that reminds everyone that going outside is illegal and extremely dangerous. The air outside is still full of toxic chemicals from the past war. 10-minute break, the system announces. Just like everything else in his life, Darwin's meals are controlled by machines. He orders food from his computer, and it is delivered quickly, showing how dependable technology is, but also how empty life has become. "Would you like it delivered at noon?" the system asks. His days are filled with work, meals, and video games. But even when he plays games, he can't escape the sadness inside him. The games may distract him for a little while, but they don't bring real happiness. "Back to work," the system commands. End of work day. Nighttime brings no peace either. Darwin is haunted by nightmares where he sees his mother leaving him behind in the bunker. In the dreams, she breaks her promise that he will one day be free. These dreams fill him with fear, sadness, and the feeling of being completely alone. One morning, while he is controlling a machine on the Earth's surface, Darwin sees something unusual. On one of the screens, a dog appears. The dog is alive, walking in the wild, something Darwin has never seen in real life. He watches closely as the dog is suddenly pulled into some bushes. Just when he tries to zoom in and investigate, his virtual team leader interrupts him over the speaker. "Continue working," the voice commands. "I will continue working now," Darwin responds. He's told to stop and return to his work. The chance to explore this strange discovery slips away. "I will, sorry," Darwin says quietly. Later, Darwin's routine is broken in a much more serious way. A powerful storm crashes over the area and his bunker loses power. Everything goes dark. The soft machine noises disappear, replaced by loud thunder and the pounding of rain above. Scared, Darwin hits the emergency button over and over, but no one responds. Hours turn into 2 days. His oxygen system begins to fail, and the air inside the bunker gets thinner. His computer malfunctions, and his situation grows more dangerous by the minute. He realizes something terrifying. No one is coming to save him. Air purification will go offline in 15 minutes, the system warns. With no other choice, Darwin decides to try something he's never done before. He puts on a respirator mask, takes a deep breath, and walks to the bunker door. When the electronic system fails to open it, he uses all his strength to push the heavy door open manually. For the first time ever, he steps into the real world, but the mask's alarm goes off, warning that the oxygen level is dropping. He runs back inside, trying to close the door, but it won't lock. Feeling hopeless, Darwin removes his mask, expecting the poisonous air to kill him, but nothing happens. Seconds pass, then minutes, and he realizes something incredible. He can breathe. The air is no longer toxic. For the first time in his life, fresh air fills his lungs. Feeling a spark of hope, Darwin gathers a few supplies and steps out of the bunker. Maybe she needed my help. I had to find her. I hadn't walked more than 10 feet in the past 9 years, he thinks to himself. His body, weak from years of sitting, shakes with every movement. The sunlight is harsh on his skin and hunger weakens him further. But he keeps going, determined to find his mother. He hears birds, real birds, and their sound feels strange after so many silent years. Along the way, he finds a machine and tries to call for help, but he loses balance and falls. Credit unavailable, the machine repeats. Just as he starts to give up, he hears a dog barking in the distance, the same sound from before. The noise fills him with hope again. Darwin follows the sound and reaches a beautiful green forest, a place where the land seems healthy and alive. Finally, his tired body gives out, and he falls asleep among the trees. When he wakes up, the buzzing of mosquitoes and the barking dog greet him. Then he sees a young girl, Dra, who is the dog's owner. She looks at him with curiosity and caution. "Who are you?" she asks. "Monarchy, let's go," she calls to the dog. Darwin hasn't spoken to anyone in years, and his voice barely works when he tries to talk. He follows her awkwardly, hoping she will help. Seeing how strange and desperate he is, Dra activates a warning alarm. A small group of survivors, people who also escaped the bunkers, live nearby. One of them is Lillian, an older woman who tells her children to hide as she approaches Darwin slowly. She speaks kindly and explains that this place is her home. Darwin understands her words, but he cannot speak in return. He only knows how to communicate through machines, and he no longer has them. "It's all clear. You can come out," Lillian calls to her children. Lillian offers him food. He eats it quietly on the ground, moving closer to her little by little as she talks gently. Her words calm him, and even though he doesn't talk, he listens carefully. She keeps speaking softly, telling him about their home and their life in the camp. He nods, understanding what she's saying. For the first time in years, Darwin feels like he belongs somewhere, even if only for a short time. He agrees to stay the night. "You can stay tonight, but we have a very comfortable mattress in the house," Lillian offers. Lillian gives him a mattress, and as he lies down, he feels a rare sense of peace. Still, he tells himself that he cannot stay forever. He must keep searching for his mother. Later, Darwin joins the others at a table and drinks tea for the first time in his life. The taste surprises him. It is warm and soothing, and it makes him feel more human. "Have you had tea before?" Lillian asks. Lillian begins to ask him questions, curious about who he is. A boy named Stephen, perhaps Lillian's son, notices Darwin's struggle to speak. He gently takes Darwin's hands and encourages him to move them like he is typing on a keyboard, so that Lillian can understand what he is saying through the translation made by Stephen. That way, they can communicate, and the group will understand him better. "Hit by lightning and in my emergency alarm," Darwin gestures. "What's your name?" Lillian asks. "Darwin," he spells out. Even though he cannot speak, Darwin begins to feel connected to the people around him. There is a quiet beauty in their simple way of life. He feels both lost and amazed by this new world. It is unfamiliar and different, but it is also warm, kind, and human, everything he has been missing all his life. Later in the day, as the sun sinks low and casts long shadows across the camp, Dra gently rubs sunscreen onto Darwin's skin. At first, the feeling surprises him. He's not used to being touched, especially not in such a kind way. In his old life, every interaction happened through a screen, but now he starts to trust the careful rhythm of Dra's hands. The kids and Dra play tag and even teach Darwin how the game is played. Slowly, he is becoming one of them. "No, I'm it and I have to touch somebody else," Dra explains. Inside, Darwin still carries a storm of questions about his mother, but he knows that Lillian and her family don't have the answers. Sensing his unease, Dra softly tells him that he is free to leave whenever he's ready, but for now, he should rest. If you want to go and see your mother, no one's going to stop you, she says gently. That night, Darwin falls asleep, but his dreams are filled with fear. He sees himself searching for his mother, only to be captured by a terrifying flying drone. It scans his mind, coldly asking questions about the people he has met. The next morning, Dra helps Darwin take his first real shower in years. He keeps his clothes on, still unsure about being fully exposed in this new world. Dra patiently shows him how to clean himself, offering quiet support. Her kindness is steady, and Lillian, watching from a distance, understands this is something Darwin must experience on his own. We have tons of old clothes, Lillian mentions. Are you versed in the way of shower taking? Dra asks. Do you need help getting your suit off or, she continues. He'll be fine, Dra, Lillian reassures her. Afterward, Darwin wears clean clothes and begins to look more like one of them. Dra teaches him how to respond to questions using simple hand gestures. Darwin, feeling a little more comfortable, decides to stay longer in the camp. Without words, he shows them his appreciation for their care. Over the next few days, a new routine begins to form. Dra spends time with Darwin, teaching him how to plant seeds and care for the earth. Their hands move through the soil together, building quiet memories. Slowly, Darwin starts to find his voice. What's new? Dra asks. I'm working on my calm skills, Darwin replies. The words feel strange in his mouth, but he tries. He also begins to help Lillian with small tasks, like setting the table, simple acts that bring him a sense of belonging. Lillian notices the special bond forming between her daughter and Darwin. Life in the camp moves gently, a small, safe world within a dangerous one. But the peace is not complete. A government drone watches from above, hidden among the clouds, always recording, always present. That afternoon, the camp fills with music and laughter as the group decides to have a little bit of fun. Dra teaches Darwin how to dance a waltz. In return, he shows her the silly, fast-paced dance moves he learned from video games. It's funny and sweet, a small meeting of two very different worlds. As they walk together through the forest, Dra opens up about her father. He once broke the law to start a new life at sea, hoping to build a safe future for his family. She speaks of the weight that fathers carry and her quiet wish for Darwin to stay with her. At the top of a mountain with the whole world stretched out before them, Dra finally tells Darwin that she loves him. They share a gentle kiss, a quiet promise between them. I think I love you, she whispers. Meanwhile, the rest of the family returns to the camp, singing happily, but their peace is quickly broken. Stephen, worried, tells them to stay quiet. Bate, distracted, drops her handkerchief, and a passing drone sees it. The drone sends out an alert, a loud, sharp sound that cuts through the calm. The family rushes to hide. Luckily, the drone moves on without further investigation. Back at the camp, tension builds. Bate is angry. She blames her mother for putting them all in danger by letting Darwin stay. Lillian tries to calm her down, but she knows Bate is right. They are at risk now. They'll have to go into hiding for a while. That evening, Dra walks into Darwin's room and finds his mattress empty. Fear floods her chest. She runs outside and quickly spots him standing alone, his body still against the growing darkness. So your bed was empty, she says quietly. He then turns to her and quietly says, I'm leaving. He explains that he can't stay, not if it means putting them in danger. Dra's heart breaks. Through tears, she admits she knew this moment would come. When he tries to comfort her, she turns away and walks off silently, not ready to say goodbye. Lillian comes to say her farewell, her eyes heavy with sorrow. Darwin tells her he's going to find his mother and bring her to a place like this, somewhere safe and full of life. In the forest, alone again, Dra cries softly, mourning the love she's just lost. Now fully alone in the wilderness, Darwin walks through the woods with a new purpose. He knows how to move quietly now, avoiding the drones. When he reaches the communication machine, he uses the key Lillian gave him and calls his mother. His voice trembles as he asks her to let him in. When the connection is accepted, he speaks gently, not waiting for approval before heading toward her bunker. He arrives at the huge metal door and knocks, speaking clearly through the silence. "You don't need to be afraid. The air is safe now. I'm breathing the air right now and it's clean." There is no response at first. Then an alarm sounds and a drone approaches, asking him to identify himself. Thinking fast, Darwin tells the drone he's been in the bunker the whole time and only went outside to get help. The voice seems to accept his lie and warns his mother not to leave again without permission. At last, the iron door opens. A woman appears, his mother. Her face is tired, her eyes wide with fear and disbelief. Years of being alone have changed her. She stares at her son, barely recognizing him. Darwin starts to tell her it's her son, and that if she had noticed his disappearance off the web, she was smoking something and didn't respond to her son, but she was indeed listening. Darwin continues to tell her that the outside is now pure and clean to be explored. "Would you mind if I use your computer for a few minutes?" he asks. "It's okay," she replies. Shortly, Darwin sees her computer and notices she hasn't spoken to anyone in all this time. He uses his code to open the archive and shows her footage from his journey, including his time with Lillian's family. Then, Darwin tells her he must go. As he leaves, she calls out to him, "Darwin." She asks if he had finished playing Stream Drifters. Darwin stops and smiles, telling her he had already reached the paradise level. Then he walks away, leaving behind a spark of hope in his mother's heart. Shortly after, he returns to the mountain where he finds Dra waiting. She turns, her face lighting up with joy and relief. They kiss again, this time with the full promise of a future together. Darwin now rejoins Lillian's family, not as a guest or outsider, but as one of them. His journey, once filled with loneliness and fear, has finally led him home.